we're praying for you. Could I make an announcement before we start? There was a lot of talk about removing my leg and was very serious, but we've come out of that. The doctors told us last Thursday that we had whooped that stage, and then today he said from over 6 weeks I'd be forgetting all about this bad leg. It's going to do good. So I do want to thank everybody for praying for it.
Hey John, it's back behind the lady from the Citizen of the Arts.
Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. If everybody will silence their phones, as always, I'm the one that leaves theirs on. John, you mind?
Father, we come to you as humble, sincere, obedient as we know how, thanking you for your love, your kindness to us, and your mercy with us. God, we ask you, Lord, to bless our meeting, touch our meeting, guide and direct. Father, we'll praise you. In Jesus' sweet humble name, amen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I spoke to John too, and we have a public hearing with advertised at 7:30, and since it's 7:31, I'd like to suspend Robert's rules and orders so we can skip down. Rearrange. Yeah, we're gonna rearrange, we're gonna skip down to it. But what I need is a motion.
I make a motion.
Have a second?
What are we talking about?
We got 4 public hearings, A, B, C, and D, and what I'm gonna do is we schedule them for 7:30. So by schedule, I'm gonna go ahead and suspend Robert's rules and orders so we can get that out
In
here.
other words, number 7 will become the first thing we do, we're not gonna go back to the rest.
Motion was made by Kenny and seconded by Jerry.
Okay.
First Kenny,
Good with
second Drew.
Yeah, good.
Okay, and I want everybody to have a part of this, this is for the public, but what we'll move down to is, I want to open up, let's see here. I want to open up the public hearing with A, which is transient occupancy tax. So I want to open it up with, for the public. I'll give you that.
What is that?
The transient occupancy tax is basically, if you're operating a bed and breakfast or Airbnb or anything like that, or you're renting a room out in your home for people to come in, basically, when you do that, that revenue, 2% is required to be paid back to the town. So, it's not a big fee, but it is something. What we envision with the Spearhead Trail, the Jawbone Trail, just everything, opening it up the way it's opening it up, and hopefully, you know, Spearhead Trail connects into Middle Creek and coming down. There will be more B&Bs and bed and breakfasts in Cedar Bluff. We want to be prepared for that moving forward. Of course, I don't even know if we may have one right now. I'm not even sure, but 2% of $400 is what, $4 or $8. I mean, it's cheap, you know. So it's cheap. So yeah.
What have we got? You said Spearhead there.
Well, it's for people like, the good thing, you know, like how you rent trailers or apartments and houses out, Johnny. This is for like bed and breakfasts,
But you named two things that may be coming in, Spearhead.
Spearhead, the Jawbone, you know, all these kayakers coming in, all that. They'll need a place to stay. So,
Does that include potential campsites and things? Does it take that also?
Yes.
yeah,
It does.
yeah.
I guess, did you write?
Anything that's not rented on a more than a month-to-month basis, you know what I'm saying, like a lease. If it's 30 days or less, if you're gonna come here 30 days or less, that property owner's responsible to pay that to the town.
What if you own cabins? What if you have,
Same. If you're renting it out for like a weekend or something like that, you'll pay 2% of that.
oh,
Anyone else?
A lot of people in West Virginia, I know, are renting out like a smokehouse, dairy, they're getting $100 a night. I just want to pass that along to you. And doing lots of it. So a little dairy, a little smokehouse, build a big bucks in it.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Public questions? I want y'all to have y'all's time.
what, yeah, I thought
Go
something
ahead.
else. Is there an ordinance on building cabins for this thing that y'all were talking about?
Let me ask Mr. Carmody, he's probably,
No.
not that me and John, you
No
might-
ordinance.
He wrote it, I figured he might want to.
Yeah, he's done for God.
It applies to transient occupancy. In other words, any place that people would rent a spot for somebody to stay overnight. If they're staying in excess of 30 days, then it doesn't apply. So I mean, like,
Oh,
if
okay.
you're renting apartments in town or something like that, if you're not a transient, you live there at that
Right,
point.
okay. That's all I have.
It was actually modeled after the transient occupancy tax that is in Fairfax County. There they have a 4% tax, 2% goes to the locality, and another 2% goes to the county.
Okay.
I have a question too. If they do that, do they have to have a license, come in here and buy a license to do that? That's how, one of the only ways we would know that they're doing it, isn't it?
Actually, no, you don't have to have a license, but you do have to fill out a transient occupancy tax return each month. So if you're no, I mean, you know, we could think about having people register. There is actually a state law that says that towns can enact a requirement for anybody that is renting places to be on the registry here at the town hall. And I was going to bring that up. We don't have one of those yet. It's optional.
What's that, Jim?
Where the town actually keeps a registry of any of the places where accommodations are rented out. We don't have that now, and if you all want to consider having one, we could have an ordinance like that I can bring to the next meeting for you. But in the meantime, there are a lot of places that don't actually have a registry, but they still require that you have to submit your occupancy tax return every month, whether you have it in
Do
rentals
they
or
have
not.
to come to the town hall to get that form, to fill it out, or?
Yeah, we actually, I think there was a prototype form that I gave you, isn't there, John?
It was in there, yeah. I don't have it in front of me because all I did was put in an agenda. You're gonna rent a room out, aren't you, Modell?
Pardon me?
You gonna do a room?
No. I
We'll build one.
don't let everybody in my house, John. But I have got something up here,
Okay.
so we'll discuss it.
Good.
She's got a smokehouse.
We'll let Patsy
Hey, I've got 2 barns.
There you are.
Now, what am I doing?
Oh, she's in,
We'll
she's
hear you.
she's already got a place, she'll pay you all 2%, sit down here, I've done got you signed up. A time frame on this, is this something that has already been approved?
Well, like he said, we'll probably table this till next month when he comes in and writes us some
Let's take
stuff.
one. I mean, if you want to adopt the occupancy tax ordinance, you can do that. And then the registry will only be like a month behind that getting adopted.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
It's not a big thing.
anyone else?
No.
No?
I just wanna know what y'all think about me.
Good thing you went outside.
Okay, I'm gonna,
That's a good thing you went outside.
there's nobody else. First call, second call, third call. I close the public hearing on transient occupancy tax. Next, actually, do I have a motion? Y'all can table it or is that?
I make a motion to pass.
Wait a minute.
Kenny Shepherd?
So wait a second.
Kenny Shepherd?
You just had a public hearing.
Right.
So if you want to bring it up for adoption, you do that after you've gone into your regular meeting.
When you come.
You're going to do all these public hearings
Right.
first. Then if you want to adopt any of those ordinances, you go back and go back to your regular meeting.
I mean, that's why you just
That's what
suspended
it said.
Robert's rules
You
of
want to
order.
do all public hearings
Yeah.
first?
I didn't know, when you wanna,
We suspended Robert's rules and orders, I was.
yeah, I mean,
So
You can
I thought
vote
were
on
gonna do
each.
each of the public hearings first, and
Yeah,
then,
we're doing them all four at one time. I mean, we'll do them all four, once y'all vote how you want to vote.
yeah.
So you made a motion,
That's all, I withdraw the motion, you do all 4 of them, then we'll vote.
but then you have to go back and do them all again.
No.
whatever motion you want.
Yeah. Okay, well, I was just giving you a chance to do it now.
Now we just do them all.
Okay, no problem. I'm gonna open up a public hearing for establishing a credit line, a line of credit.
The line of credit, the reason we want to establish a line of credit, you know, everybody says, oh, the town's hard up. No, really, we've got several business owners and actually people that live here in the town of Cedar Bluff that want to expand, and not only that, but want to add maybe a separate business. And just with the IDA, that's the next public hearing, you know, if you can have some money laid out there for like capital improvement or a private-public partnership, it's so important to have funds available, you know. So, of course, they're going to be putting money into their project because eventually it's going to be their project. But if we can see the revenue and we're going to get a meals tax and all that, it's good to have money set aside in case you want to do that partnership. That's what this money is basically is going to be for. We're just going to have it sitting on the sidelines in case something does happen. We foresee in the future, it could be next month, it could be a year from now or 5 years from now. But with everything, all this tourism coming down the pike, the Spearhead Trail, the Jawbone and Richlands, you know, Richlands getting ready to pass, their ATVs going to be rode there in the town of Richlands. All these tourists just coming in, so if we get a good opportunity, or you know, say some wealthy guy wants to come in, invest in our town, you know, we can sort of spur him along a little bit in the deal if we can put a little skin in the game with him. but we don't wanna waste taxpayer money or anything. We're gonna set this money to the side. That's what, but, you know, it's vital that we have this in play with the Industrial Development Authority, you know, so. Yeah, it's a big misconception. Richlands last election was all a part about passing liquor by the drink. They didn't have to pass liquor by the drink. If you got IDA, you just run it through the IDA with and the industrial bonds. You don't have to have liquor by the drink. It was just a misconception. Of course, a lot of people got voted out over that misconception and that lie. But Richlands does have an IDA. So in essence, they didn't even have to pass that. So it's just real important moving forward, you know, with this line of credit sitting aside. If somebody does want to come and invest in our town, we can be able to help them.
I think the other thing, if I could just.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, the town of Cedar Bluff is not a business that has an even income every month all year long. And so when tax bills go out, you know, there's more revenue coming in than there is, you know, months after that when there aren't any tax bills coming out. So suppose you need to get a new truck and the treasury is kind of low. Well, you know, we'll have the money when tax time comes, but if you don't have it when you need the truck, what are you going to do? So if you have the line of credit, then, you know, you can borrow to cover yourself until that revenue comes in and pay it back when you have it. That's the other thing I think that has been discussed as you know, a smart thing to have in your back pocket there in case you ever need to use it. Any kind of borrowing, you have to have a public hearing before you can go ahead and authorize any of that. So that's why it's on the agenda.
Anybody?
You may have already said, but how much is the line of credit for?
100,000.
100,000.
Yeah.
I thought we discussed this on 50,000.
Well, we did. We discussed several numbers. We discussed 50, 75, 100. Just, you know, to be honest with you, it was when Carmody, when you wrote it up, it was 100, wasn't it?
Yeah,
But I
but
mean-
I don't want you to be sorry later on that your limit was 50 when you actually needed to have a little more than 50.
Right.
You know, it's still up to the council how much ever to borrow against that credit
Right.
line.
Did we discuss how much, or how many people had to approve that before we took any money out for that?
It's going to be approved by the council, sir.
How many council?
The majority.
The whole council.
Whole council?
Right.
Majority of the whole council.
Right. So 4.
Any public comment? Roll call.
I was just gonna say, I guess, if you have somebody absent, then maybe it's a majority of the voting members. I don't want to
It would be the majority of the quorum,
Yeah,
is what he's wanting to say.
Okay.
I don't want to mislead anybody.
Right.
Second call. Third call. I'm gonna close public comment on establishing a line of credit.
We'll vote again on the
Yeah. Next, I'm gonna open the public hearing on establishing the Cedar Bluff Industrial Development. That's IDA.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
What do you got on that, John?
Just as was previously stated, the IDA will, you know, I didn't realize it, but the town of Cedar Bluff used to have IDA, right, Terry? And they dissolved it. But, you know, if you're gonna be doing any business or wanting to grow, you really need an IDA. I mean,
That's the reason it was dissolved back then, it was just no business or anything.
Right. Yeah, you know, so with everything moving down the pike, hopefully, with tourism growing the way it's growing, you know, it's gonna be not only a win-win for us, you know, that's the great thing about where we live. If Richlands prospers, we prosper. If we prosper, they prosper, you know, so with the spearhead trails coming in and, you know, I know some deals that it's actually gonna end up connected maybe close to the racetrack up here and through Middle Creek and then and come off in I think in behind where Acme used to be, Hugh, you know, where the Food City gas station's at now. So, I mean, it's gonna be a huge, boom for our economy, so, I think it's good. Like right now, I don't wanna give no names, I don't wanna name drop, but I have a person here, a successful businessman that wants to buy property and do a restaurant in the town of Cedar Bluff. But, you know, they may sell alcohol, they may not, but, you know, either way, that needs to be ran through the IDA. I mean, it has to be. So, you know, I think it's vital. If we're just gonna be on the top of our game, we need an IDA.
Any public, go ahead.
How many members,
You got, I read it earlier, you got 7 members. Let's get this straight now, hold on. Maybe it's got 7. You got a mayor, a chairman, a vice chairman. You got, and then it's all split up because they want them to have staggered terms. So then you got 3 members at 1-year terms, and then you got 2 members at 2-year terms. And one of the chairmen, either the chairman or vice chairman will have a 4-year term. But you know, that way, not everybody comes reappointed at the same time. But each member of the IDA has to live in the town of Cedar Bluff, town limits.
who chooses who the members will be?
Well, it's gotta be, it can be one elected official. Shoot, I read it. It's gotta be one elected official. And, well, actually, right here, let me see. Can I borrow your thing, Tim? I'll read it to you, Odell. It was right.
You found it, John, I've got a copy right here.
Right here it is. Okay. You would make me read the one we got the most pages on, Monell. God bless you.
Just give me
No, I'm
the-
kidding, I'm kidding.
Just give me the highlights.
Being ordained by the council of the town of Cedar Bluff, Virginia, that sections 27-1 through 27-9 of the town code be enacted as follows. Chapter 27, Industrial Development Authority. Section 27-1, Industrial Development Authority established. An industrial development authority is hereby established pursuant to section 15.2, 4900 of the Code of Virginia, 1950, as amended. The industrial development authority shall be political subdivision of the Commonwealth of Virginia and shall have the rights of powers and privileges permitted under the Code of Virginia, 1950, as amended, and other applicable law. Section 27.2, official name of the industrial development authority. The official name of the Industrial Development Authority shall be Cedar Bluff Industrial Development Authority. The Industrial Development Authority shall be governed by a board of directors in which all powers of the Industrial Development Authority shall be vested. The board of directors shall be composed of 7 directors appointed by town council. The 7 directors shall be appointed initially for terms of 1, 2, 3, and 4 years. 2 being appointed for 1-year terms, 2 being appointed for 2-year terms and 3-year terms, and 1 being appointed for a 4-year term. Subsequent appointments shall be for terms of 4 years, except appointments to fill vacancies, which shall be for the unexpired terms. All terms of office shall be deemed to commence upon the date of the initial appointment to the Industrial Development Authority, and thereafter in accordance with the provisions of the immediately preceding sentence. If at the end of any term of office of any director a successor thereto has not been appointed, then the director whose term of office has expired shall continue to hold office until the successor is appointed and qualified. Each director shall, upon appointment or reappointment to the Industrial Development Authority, take and subscribe the oath prescribed by section 49-1 of the Code of Virginia, 1950, as amended before entering upon his or her duties. Section 27-4, qualifications of the Board of Directors. every director of the Industrial Development Authority shall, at the time of his appointment and thereafter, reside within the corporate limits of the town. B, no director of the Industrial Development Authority shall be an officer or an employee of the town. For purposes of this section, uncompensated volunteer firefighters shall not thereby be deemed to be officers or employees of the town. 27.5. Officers of the Industrial Development Authority. The Board of Directors of the Industrial Development Authority shall elect from its membership a chairman, a vice chairman, and from its membership or not, as they desire, a secretary and a treasurer, or a secretary/treasurer. Each of the officers shall hold office for the term of 1 year and until their respective successors have been elected or chosen and assumed office. The chairman of the Industrial Development Authority shall preside over all meetings, rule on issues of parliamentary procedure, maintain and ensure order at meetings, and execute all resolutions, contracts, bonds, notes, deeds, conveyances, recommendations, approvals, minutes, letters, and other documents on behalf of the Industrial Development Authority. The vice chairman of the Industrial Development Authority shall act as the chairman of the Industrial Development Authority in the absence or inability of the chairman. The secretary of the Industrial Development Authority shall establish an order of business or agenda for meetings, notify the directors and general public of meetings, keep a written record of meetings, of all public meetings, keep a written record of official documents and records, keep a written record of those speaking at meetings, certify all records executed by the chairman, and keep electronic records of the above or of any other matters as he deems necessary or proper for good business practices.
We go any further, we're gonna talk them out of
Yeah, I mean, but it's a good thing. But really, it's a good thing. I mean, you're real. But you can be on there, Modell. You know, I think last time Jerry, you was chairman, wasn't you?
Right.
Jerry Harrell was chairman. You know, the only thing, you know, I don't know how many people from the council can be on there.
Johnny, you were on it.
Who?
Johnny was on it when I was, Johnny Smith.
So would you imagine, what did it say? Did it say 7?
7 members.
Okay, so if you had 2 elected officials, you need 5 appointments outside the town. Would you imagine? Yeah.
Yeah. Meeting outside the town council.
Right, yeah.
Good? Any more questions? Once, gone twice, third time, I close public hearing on the IDA. Next, I open up revision of the solid waste disposal. Any public comments? You have anything?
Go ahead, Jim, I'll let you quarterback this one.
Really, I don't even know if the public hearing is necessary on that. Somehow it got grouped in with the others. But it's just a change to the ordinance that we have already on solid waste disposal. And I think Officer Sergeant Clark gave me some ideas about something that he wanted to have done on that as far as the transfer station and so on. So I think it's mainly directed toward that. Just has to do with how the waste is allowed to be disposed of, what containers to use and so on.
Anything? First call, second call, third call, I'm gonna close solid waste disposal. And next, I will open the public hearing on fee for returning checks.
Okay, the fee for return checks, like someone writes a bad check or insufficient funds or something like that, we're raising it to $50 a check, which is, you know, bank fees is going up, everybody's fees is going up, so, you know, if we have to take it, we run it to the bank, you know, so I think right now it's 35, right, Jim?
25.
25. So, you know, we just,
State law says 50, so we're just changing it to conform with the state law.
and most municipalities are changing that,
Yeah, we're lower than a lot of other people.
yeah.
Any public comment on that?
Most people here that write good checks, that don't have a problem with that. The only people that have a problem with that is you write bad checks. I floated several. I've been known to kite a few, you know?
See, you heard that. Any more public comment on that?
That's my younger
Chase. Got any questions? First, second, third, I'm gonna close it. And now I'm gonna open the debt set public hearing.
What this is we reached out to David Larimer and Jennifer. What we can do is, he's gonna send a lady down, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
And she's gonna walk Jennifer and whoever else wants to help through the process, correct? And we can actually recapture, like, I know Tim was on this a lot. Tim Altizer was always barking at this, you know, but, you know, people move out, like, say they rent an apartment over there, and they hop up and leave, and they beat the town off $200 water and sewer bill, or parking tickets or anything. We can, with their social security number and all the application form that they come in and sign, when they file taxes, we can garnish their wages when they do their tax returns. You know, Tazewell's doing this, Town of Richlands is doing this. It only makes sense that we do this. I mean, you know, because in this day and age, most people on their last month, especially if they say, I know a guy right now that was living in Cedar Bluff, and you both do, was living in Cedar Bluff, and he ended up moving out of his apartment off Edgewater Drive and went to rent a house in Pounding Mill and left the town about $100 and some bills. Said, well, I ain't never gonna live in Cedar Bluff again. I'm not gonna get them. With this, when he files his taxes, we can get money back. So, I mean, this is just a good thing. Really, it is. It's money that's owed to the town. There's thousands and thousands of dollars each year that goes.
Anything?
You understand?
Yes, sir, I
Yeah.
understand.
Oh, I didn't know.
I think it's a great idea,
Yeah.
as long as I
Anything?
move on.
Tim? All right, first call, second call, third call, I'm gonna close the debt set. Now, we will move back up to, of course, welcome our visitors, and I want to step down, we need a motion for the approval of the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
No, we're gonna have a motion to close the public hearing. We did.
Oh, no,
No, you didn't have a motion in a second.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
just cause I made him mad on paying the bills, you're jumping on me, go ahead.
Aye.
We forget it every time, I don't know how. Okay, approval of the agenda,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. I'll second
okay. Any discussion about the agenda, you good?
it.
No, you didn't have a second?
Tim seconded.
He said.
Oh, okay. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, approval of the minutes,
I'll make a motion
previous
to
minutes,
approve the minute.
second,
Second.
Aye.
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 next is the approval to pay the bills. Any questions about the bills?
I'll let the movement, I'll make a motion that you pay the bills.
Aye, second.
John, you have any questions? Good, aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we'll move back down to the occupancy tax. How would y'all want to do that?
We'll just do it one at a time.
I'll make the motion. Pass the transient occupancy tax.
And I'll second that.
All right. Motion is second.
Any more discussion, John? You good?
Aye.
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 That's unanimous.
Yeah. So next is establish a line of credit.
I'll make a motion to establish a line of credit.
Second.
No.
Aye.
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 Did you get that, Jim?
Yes, sir.
And Johnny Smith was
Next is establishment of Cedar Bluff IDA.
I'll make the motion. Establish that.
Can I hear a second?
Second.
John?
Aye.
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 Who made that motion?
Jerry,
Jerry,
Who seconded
Joe.
where I did,
it?
Joe,
Okay, next is a revision to the solid waste disposal. Have a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Second from Terry.
Who made the motion, Kenny?
Kenny, second from Terry. John?
Now John
Aye.
said.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next is the fees for returning checks. Do I have a motion on it to raise it from 25 to
I'll
50?
make a motion to raise the fee from 25 to 50.
We got a second?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. And last is debt set. Do I hear a motion on it?
I'll make that motion.
I second.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you guys. Next is request for $1,000 donation to the Citizens of the Art.
So actually, it's a matching grant, from Ginger Branton, so it would be $500. That was my mistake, I put it on there for Jennifer to type it up, and he should have said 500 instead of 1,000.
Is that what we always give?
500, we give 500,
And
And
we
then
get
they-
a matching grant.
yeah, well, they'll match it for that.
I'll make the motion. Donate $500.
I'll
That
second.
gives the citizens in the town,
Motion,
surrounding area, things to do.
That's fine.
Johnny?
Aye.
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 Scheduled speaker, Chief Brown, you want to come up?
Just got a couple things. In accordance with our SRO grant for the DCGS, Officer Crabtree has completed the SRO training program, so he's now a certified SRO. Second thing is, little girl works with us, Victoria. She's got on board with Clinch Valley Community Action. We're doing the October's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we are accepting donations for personal hygiene items and pajamas. Even voluntary donation if you want to. We'll be accepting them here until Monday the 28th. All of that will be taken up on Tuesday the 29th to be presented to Clinch Valley Community Action and some kind of pajama party or something they're having. So that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir. Public comment? Anyone? Next is town manager's report.
Well, we've already reported on the David Lambert debt sales under the public hearing. And Overlook Park and CPROC grant, Victoria's been working on that. Actually, she went to a DCR and a park. It was a DCR and Parks Restoration Funding and Ideas Day at the Cumberland Plateau this morning at 10 a.m. with Jim Baldwin. So, of course, that's where that CPROC grant's coming from, plus that's where that $3,000 rally grant we've been working on. Jennifer and Victoria's been working on both of those grants for the town. The rally grant, basically everything's approved, we just gotta form a board to do it. I thought maybe we could revitalize the town square, that's what we talked about with Jennifer.
I think so.
And, you know, because we got a small grant for the love side. So, if we could revitalize, get this gazebo out here, just a little bit of a facelift, maybe do some other stuff and get that love sign out there, it would really make this square here pop.
Yeah.
Not only that, the CPROP grant, I don't know exactly what CPROP stands for because I haven't been working on it. Jennifer Victoria's been working on it. But with that being said, Richlands did this grant. They received $127,000 off the CPROP grant. I do know that there's some restrictions with the CPROP grant. You know, it's been kicked around. Maybe we'll do revitalize the Overlook Park. Maybe get those new steel picnic tables that's rubber coated and have them handicap accessible. Like someone goes up there in a wheelchair, they can sit at the picnic table with their family and eat and do all that. The shelters up there need lighting. We need to revamp that trail to the deck. Terry Stevenson today met with a contractor to give us a bid on revamping the trail to the deck, the overlook on the main top. So, you know, we've got a lot of things going on. Of course, you know, we basically, with all the paperwork, I'm telling you, I didn't realize how much paperwork this job had. But the time you get the paperwork done and you do everything, every extra thing, I mean, you're just really, really overwhelmed. We're working with a skeleton crew. I mean, we really are. Jim always worked with the skeleton crew. I commend Jim. You know, he did a great job. Jim McLaughlin and Tom Lester did, for that matter. But you know, it's hard to compress everything that needs attention each and every day because you're pulled in so many directions. I mean, you know, I can see that with Terry. I can see that with Robert and Mitch. You know, this afternoon they was around the town hall and someone had put their trash out too late. It was getting ready to close. They had to go take the SD and go pick up trash and they Terry. So I mean, it's always something. But I thank God for the people here. They've always been good to us. And you know, most of the time, if you can't do it and you say, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I'll do better next time," they'll forgive you. You know, so. With that being said, I got a call from Hunter. I'm looking for his name here. Hunter Kittrell. He was from the Partners of the Fish and Wildlife. They're wanting to spray, and I thought it was pretty cool. They're wanting to spray beside, you know where the Ann Yost property is on Okotoka Turnpike? There where the Mr. Williams, Bob Williams property, the house is there on the corner. The
White House,
the big White House where everybody takes pictures at now. Well, what they're wanting to do,
beside our land.
right,
Beside our-
but it's not on our, it's right, the land in between our property that we own and the house, they're wanting to spray that with like herbicide and pollinate that field with wildflowers and make it like a natural meadow, because obviously they're like conservationists, you know, with the mussels and all that. But you know, the only problem here is I called around for this guy. I couldn't find anyone that sprayed herbicide. You know anybody, Kevin? I mean, I called Cody Ellswick, I called Sidney Sparks, I called Jerry Compton, I called everybody I know that sprays bugs or anything like that. Nobody sprays herbicide. Herbicide is like really expensive, and you know, most people that do spray herbicide, Mr. Brady, it would be farmers, right? Most people that do that's farmers. Most people that spray, because I reached out to someone, but I haven't been able to find anyone.
They have to be licensed through the Department of Agriculture.
They do. You're right.
And I think they have to have a pesticide license.
Brian State.
And I think they keep that, Department of Agriculture keeps a list of those people. Might be something.
Yeah.
Jeff Jowers in Southern States can tell you who can do it. If I think he can do it himself.
That's Sandy Evers' son might be able to spray.
Does he spray?
He's the one that sprayed that patch the first before for the pumpkin.
Okay.
Patch.
I'll reach out to Sandy. I got his number. We had a busy day today. Vice Mayor Jerry Herring and Councilman Kenny Shepherd, and plus with Victoria Barfay, went to the Clinch River Valley Initiative. I wasn't able to attend, getting the agenda ready and just doing everything. And then plus I went to my daughter's last home volleyball game at Richlands High School. So I wasn't able, how did that go, Jerry?
Well,
Did it go well? It was a big turnout, wasn't it?
Victoria's taking a big interest in that. I told her to kind of prepare something for the next meeting to update everybody on what's happening. And it's really interesting, so she's gonna do that. So next meeting, she's gonna have a little presentation for it.
Okay, great. You have anything to add, Kenny?
Nothing
Did you
other
get-
than I was surprised that, that goes from here all the way down into Scott County. I mean,
Right.
it's all pretty much connected, and they're even gonna have a Prince River State Park.
Right, yeah.
You know, I didn't realize it was that big of a thing.
What we really need to work on as a town, and maybe someone in the crowd knows this man, we've reached out to him, we've made phone calls. We would like to put one of our boat dock entrances, for the kayakers off Edgewater Drive. I think that street.
Scott Street?
Is it Scott Street?
Scott Street. Yeah, we
Scott
own
Street.
it.
Huh?
Yeah, we own it.
Well, we need to buy, I was in discussions with Ricky Barton from, what's the OAC stand for? Anyways, he's over at OAC, I can't remember what it exactly stands for, but anyways, he's big into that, and he actually rents kayaks out. But he said we need to purchase the property from, and he has money to purchase the property, don't he, Terry?
Yeah.
The what, Ricky Barton? Ricky, huh?
On that.
Yeah, and he has money to purchase the property of the Homeacre man. He's, well, we haven't been able to get a hold of the Homeacre man.
Like when you go down Scott Street.
It's on the left.
Okay.
Terry Barrett stands on the right.
Okay.
He's on the left.
Now, you know you go to the river and come back off of it 20
That's York
yards,
Plains.
that's all York's down through there.
Yeah, that's the reason he wants the Homeacre. Because York
I think
basically
he's gonna
said,
donate. York's gonna donate.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's good.
He didn't-
We got this.
Yeah. I looked at him or Johnny. I didn't know which one fell out in the chair yet. I was looking over that direction. Yeah.
You need to be careful.
John's got a hook on his, so.
Yeah.
Is that all you have?
Yeah.
Okay, no more town manager report. Town reports.
I have one for the police department. They had 73, responded to 73 calls. They worked 3 accidents. They had 1 arrest. They had 49 traffic stops and 31 tickets were summons. Traffic summonses issued were 31. Traffic checkpoints, they just had 1. The total miles of patrol were 3,484 miles. Total town tickets issued 1. Assist other jurisdiction, 9 of those, and no canine deployments and no DUI arrests. However, they also want us to know that on there'll be Thursday night, right? Thursday night, October the 17th at 7 o'clock here in the community room at the town hall. We'll have a neighborhood watch meeting. And that's all I have.
I got the fire department for the month of September. We had 4 monthly meetings, 3 calls during the month, prepared the station for the Cedar Bluff Festival, and assisted with the festival. Total hours of meeting, training, and other was 87. Total hours on call was 5. That's it.
Wait, may I ask a question? This calendar, they also have completed the process for the first Cedar Bluff Police Department calendar. Is that something that you're going to be giving away, or is that something that,
Once we get them in, anybody's welcome to come pick one up, we'll have it here at Town Hall. If you contribute to the calendar, the All-American calendar will be delivered once on as well.
okay.
Water report for September, replaced 2 meters, setters on Baines Bottom Road, installed 197 new meters, installed 144 single radios and 70 double radios and programmed them. All 450 new meters and all radios covered by the grant have been installed. Flushed numerous water mains throughout the town. All samples taken came back negative, and repaired brick old
Kentucky Park entrance. So, the brick columns there, maybe.
So that's all the new meters, right?
Yep, that we have.
Okay. Council concerns?
I have one. The chain that goes across over here to town shop. I don't know if any of y'all been through there on Tuesday nights where they had the karate class. That street is essentially one lane when you come down through there. I'd like to make a motion that the chain be taken down on Tuesday nights to allow them to park there in that lot. I spoke with the chief of police. He said that if they were provided with the key, that he didn't mind having his officers do that. Let the chain down, let them use it, then put it back after they're gone.
Yeah, my son takes karate over there too. It's just a much good place. And they don't tear nothing up.
So I make a motion that we allow them to use that on Tuesday nights for that purpose.
Give the police officers a key and they'll,
Yeah, and all three officers will have a key. I think that's what me and Mr. Brown discussed. And he said he didn't have no problem with his officers doing that.
I'll second that motion. That seemed like a good idea.
Aye.
Any more council concerns?
I've got a concern. I voted against having money reserved, as everybody knows. And I just like to make everybody aware that, of course, it takes so much money to run the town. I suppose all the council knows how much money it takes to run the town. And the town is taking in so much money monthly. And then I'm seeing, and I'm not grumbling, I'm not, when you start throwing $1,000 here and $5,000 there and $10,000 here, I like to caution everybody to be careful. I'm for staying active, doing a lot. Sometimes you can get too active and it costs you more at the end of the month than what you realize you spent. So I am concerned for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more council concerns? Okay, next is mayor concerns. The only thing I'd want the chief, if he could check on, and I don't even know if it's coming to us, but I've been invited to the grand opening of this Spearhead Trail, 28th maybe. They're gonna do the grand opening, and of course they want all y'all guys to come to if you can. But Richlands has opened up the ordinance where they'll be able to ride, when they come out of the woods, they'll be able to ride their four-wheelers back to their destination, which might be, I know Hilltop Motel got purchased, and I hear the plans are to open it back up because all this four-wheeler stuff. It's really gonna affect Richlands, I figured most, but we're always the opening on everything when we do all this stuff. So the mayor contacted me because they're wanting to know about us connecting with their ordinances. I don't know how that works. But like if their trail comes out at Middle Creek, they're gonna allow people, I'm not saying the Cedar Bluff, but Richlands, if they're gonna allow you, if you come out wherever, you can ride your four-wheeler back through the town, on the town road to get to where you need to be. So our part will be, will we allow that in our town? And that's just something that they threw at me. I mean, this is something y'all can talk about, discuss, table next time, no big deal. But, we're going to have to make a decision, or we're going to connect with them. So if they come out in Middle Creek, they can ride their four-wheeler back to Richlands. It's a big decision. So they might even take the public hearing on it. I don't really know, but that's the only concern that I told them I would ask about.
I gotta get me some shoulder pads with some spikes sticking out. We'd be like road warriors back in the day. Yeah.
With a collared mohawk on your helmet.
Yeah. That's all I have. You have anything on that? You heard about it, Mr. Farmer?
About
The ordinance where they're passed where they can ride four-wheelers in town?
just what I've heard here.
Okay. Well, it's just, I guess they,
Richlands
It sounds like,
it's Shannon Cook.
okay.
Does it sound like to you that will be right on 4 lane, 460?
They can't get on 460.
I don't think so.
And as of right now, they can only come to right there at Randy's, which Randy's Gateway Drug's trying to open up their parking lot a little bit, because they, what's his name, just opened up a restaurant.
From Nicole County,
Louis Ray.
Blue Ray.
How would they get to Hilltop?
Hi.
How do they get to Hilltop? Because that's the only way access to it's on the 4 lane, isn't it?
No, you can go all the way down through town, past McDonald's, and
Go around the backside.
Yeah.
Well, you go over into McDowell County in West Virginia, and towns over through there, they've got signs up, ATV friendly.
Yeah.
So they've already passed their ordinance, what they need to do, so.
It's something to look at too. I mean, you probably want to, because it'll be a public access. It ain't like they're gonna come across your yard, you know. But it'll be, I think it'll be kind of fun. I'm a young guy. I think it's fun. That's all I have. Next is closed session, section 2.23711-A1 personnel matter. B, section 2.2-3711-A7 legal litigation, and C, section 2.23711-A29 legal contracts. Do I?
Motion to go into closed session.
Second. Closed session. All right, we'll be back.
Hi, how long's this closed session last?
each meeting,
I got one out of it.
it's been an hour.
Could be an hour, could be 30 minutes, could be.
Gordon, how long we get stirred up?
Okay, I don't think this thing, how windy we are.
Yeah, that's right. Down in there.
How's Brett doing?